Chapter 31, Encountering the Celestial Dragons by Chance and Beating Up the Celestial Dragons. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A Navy warship cut through the sea, carrying a world noble, one of those scumbag celestial dragons. Down below, several boys and girls were locked in iron cages. These kids, maybe 13 or so, looked terrified, helpless, and scared out of their minds. Their clothes were filthy, especially the girls. Ripped and torn, their clothes bore the bloody marks of whippings. Just then, a fat slob in a white coat and a bubble helmet waddled over. This celestial dragon was named St. Charpos. He'd come straight from Mary Geos, the Holy Land, after picking up some slaves. His plan? To parade them around and see whose slave was the toughest. Losers got executed on the spot. With every step, the fat on his belly jiggled. He looked like a walking, talking pig monster. A pack of Navy soldiers trailed behind him, acting as his bodyguards. Whip crack, star. Out of nowhere, St. Charpos lashed out with his whip, striking the prisoners in the cages. Ah! No! Cries and pleas filled the air, but St. Charpos didn't let up. He got more and more fired up with each blow. Some of the Navy guys behind him were starting to look queasy, but they didn't dare interfere. After a while, St. Charpos finally stopped whipping and swaggered over to the cages. The kids inside cowered away, but the cage wasn't big enough for them to escape. Seeing their fear, St. Charpos grinned. He started whipping them again, a crazed look in his eyes. Whip crack, star. Not too far off, a pirate ship approached. Its flag showed a skull entwined with 9 snakes, resembling the sun. 2 giant snakes pulled the ship through the water. This was one of the 9 snake pirates' ships, led by Boya Hancock, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. And it was headed straight for the Navy warship. Boya Hancock reclined on a massive python, its body coiled to form a seat. Her 2 younger sisters stood behind her, Boya Marigold and Boya Sandersonia. One was a chubby woman with orange hair. The other had green hair, her head comically large compared to her body. "Sis, Navy ship ahead," Boya Marigold announced. "Take me there," Boya Hancock said, casually crossing her legs. Soon, the 2 ships were within hailing distance. The Navy spotted the 9 snake pirates and a shout rang out, "World nobles aboard! Celestial dragons! Stay clear of this warship." The word celestial dragon soured the mood of the Boya sisters, especially Boya Hancock. It dredged up the horrific memories of being a slave to those monsters. She felt a surge of humiliation, remembering those celestials force-feeding her devil fruits just for kicks, and the secret brand on her back, her ultimate shame. "Get us out of here," she said, her voice laced with fear. The thought of being captured again terrified her. She couldn't go back to that. Just then, another pirate ship came barreling towards them. Suddenly, flames erupted on the Navy ship. Boom, star. The explosion stopped the 9 snake pirates in their tracks. Who would attack a celestial dragon? Boya Hancock stared at the burning warship. Stunned. Locke, having arrived on the scene, made his way to the celestial dragon. The system had just issued a mission. Ding, star. Special mission, kill the celestial dragon. Reward, unknown. Reward or not, Locke was going to take out this celestial dragon. He couldn't stand their arrogance. "You bastard!" St. Charpos roared. He swung his whip at Locke, while the Navy soldiers behind him looked on in horror. They couldn't believe Locke was here, or that he would attack a celestial dragon. Locke casually snatched the whip out of the air and yanked hard. St. Charpos, no match for Locke's strength, went sprawling. He scrambled to his feet. "Do you have any idea who I am? What are you waiting for? Kill him!" he screamed at the Navy soldiers. Reluctantly, they stepped forward. Locke flicked his wrist. A ball of flame engulfed the soldiers, roasting them alive. The stench of burning flesh filled the air. Their screams were ignored. Locke turned to St. Charpos, raised his fist, and punched. Boom, star. St. Charpos was sent flying into the warship's railing, spitting blood. Boya Hancock witnessed the whole thing. She watched the celestial dragon get sent flying, then spotted Locke. "It's him!" she gasped. Locke approached St. Charpos, who was about to say something when Locke stomped his face into the deck. The impact was so forceful, blood spurted from his mouth and his eyes went wide. Locke raised his foot and stomped again, harder this time, and again. Each time, the force increased. After a few minutes, blood splattered on Locke's face and boots. He looked down at the mangled remains of Saint Charpo's head. Brains and blood smeared the deck in a gruesome mess. Ding, star. An electronic voice chimed. Mission complete. Reward, mysterious mineral water. Locke's eyes lit up. Mysterious mineral water. What's so special about it? He asked the system for clarification. Ding, star. Mysterious mineral water. Drinking it will make you no different from how you were before. At best, it will quench your thirst. It's just regular mineral water. Locke was speechless. Then why call it mysterious mineral water? Ding, star. The system responded. It sounds more impressive, right? Motivates the host to complete the task. Locke was even more baffled. When did the emotionless system start cracking jokes? Ding. This system must maintain its cool facade. Locke figured the system was glitching out or something. Best not to push it. He used moonwalk to launch himself into the air, then punched the warship below. Boom, star. An explosion ripped through the ship, sending up thick plumes of smoke. As for the slaves trapped in the iron cages, Locke had taken care of them too. Even if he freed them, they'd just get caught again. Besides, even killing a celestial dragon wasn't a guaranteed death sentence, so why let them get recaptured and tortured? Better to give them a quick end than let them suffer. Just then, a pirate ship approached. Locke recognized the 9 snake pirates. He was surprised to see them. They actually came closer. Locke landed directly on their ship. Not far off, he could see Robin on another ship. Boya Hancock watched Locke land on her ship, and the female warriors instinctively surrounded him. Fall back. Boya Hancock ordered. The 3 sisters approached Locke, surprised to see the young man in person. Pictures in the papers and that broadcast didn't do him justice. Locke, for his part, took in the most beautiful woman in the world. Yep, a woman you can't see her feet with the flesh under her neck is the best. Locke thought to himself. Chapter 32 Boya Hancock, Departure to 9 Snake Island. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Locke was still lost in some beautiful daydream when Boya Hancock snapped. You know you just killed a celestial dragon, right? Her voice was full of shock. Locke, unfazed, replied, I know. Hancock's eyes widened. Aren't you afraid of the world government and the Navy hunting you down? Let them come, Locke said. I'll take down as many as they send. Besides, I've been itching to wipe out trash like the celestial dragons for a long time. He locked eyes with her as he spoke. The Kuja warriors present gasped, mouths agape. This was the first time they'd heard anyone speak of the celestial dragons like that. After all, they were the world nobles, and harming them brought down the full force of the Navy. Hancock was reeling from Locke's words. Her gaze shifted, no longer indifferent, but with an unreadable feeling. She scrutinized his eyes, trying to discern if he was bluffing. But Locke's gaze remained steady, seemingly unconcerned about the celestial dragons. Just then, a ship approached. Robin stood on the deck, spotting Locke with the Kuja pirates. The ship quickly pulled alongside, and all eyes turned to them. Seeing Robin arrive, Locke said, Well, I'll be heading out. He turned to leave. Wait, Hancock's voice stopped him. I want to invite you to Amazon Lily as a guest. What? The Kuja pirates were aghast. Amazon Lily was off limits to men. They couldn't believe Hancock was personally inviting one sister. Boa Marigold and Boa Sandersonia started to protest, but Hancock silenced them with a glare. Did you not hear me? No objections. Because I'm beautiful. Hancock suddenly declared, striking a pose, finger to her lips, a coy expression on her face. The Kuja warriors blushed. Yes, the Empress is always right. Because she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Locke's internal monologue, simps. Whatever, a free invite and I can probably get something out of it, Locke said, I'll come. He agreed to Hancock's invitation and went to talk to Robin on his ship. Hancock followed him, the two women stared each other down, a strange tension filling the air. Robin casually remarked, "So, you're the captain of the Kuja pirates, I presume?" "Boa Hancock." Locke started to say. "Yes, I am the captain of the Kuja pirates," Hancock declared proudly. Locke jumped in quickly. "Hancock invited me to Amazon Lily." I agreed. "Oh, I see," Robin said, her tone laced with something Locke couldn't quite place. Night fell. The two pirate ships sailed side by side. On the Kuja ship, Boa Sandersonia asked, "Why did sister invite that man to Amazon Lily?" Boa Marigold replied, "Maybe because he took down that world noble. That incident had a big impact on our three sisters. I'm sure she has her reasons. We just need to support her." They glanced at the brightly lit ship next to them. "Lord Locke, you can call me Hancock. Even call me honey." Hancock slurred, her face flushed with wine. Locke had only offered her a little, but she was clearly drunk. And she was saying things she normally wouldn't, which was making things awkward with Robin nearby. Robin smirked at Locke. He knew that look meant he was in trouble. "Don't listen to her, she's drunk," Locke said defensively. Then, he quickly consulted the system. After all, this wine was from the system. "System, what's the alcohol content of your wine? Ding, star. The wine is precisely 60 proof, Locke was surprised. That's strong, no wonder Hancock was such a mess after just one drink. Just then, Hancock said something even more embarrassing. "Hey, Master Locke, don't touch anything. I can't stand it anymore." She closed her eyes, touching her face, making odd noises. Locke swallowed hard. Hancock was being incredibly alluring. Suddenly, he felt a chill. Robin was looking at him with narrowed eyes. He coughed to cover his unease. "I'll help her inside to sleep." He put his arm around Hancock's waist and led her into the cabin. Robin watched him go, muttering, "Idiot." The next day, Locke emerged, clutching his back, his legs a little shaky. He was exhausted. He'd gotten Hancock inside and was about to cover her with the blanket when she grabbed him. It took all his willpower to get her settled and get out of there. He found Robin alone at the railing, looking a bit forlorn. He snuck up behind her, put his arm around her shoulders, and stood there silently. Robin felt his arm but didn't pull away. She just stared out at the sea. She thought about when she'd first met Locke, about her home and family being wiped out by the Buster Call. If Locke hadn't appeared, she might be dead. Tears welled up in her eyes. Locke wiped them away. It took some kind words and comfort to stop her from crying. They talked about life until it was late. Then, they went back to their rooms to sleep. Locke sighed, remembering the night before. "This is tough, sailing on the sea. It looks beautiful, but hides dangers. You never know what creatures are in the depths. Especially for those with devil fruit powers, the sea is a deadly place." A pirate ship sailed towards them. The pirates were unknown. They were having a banquet, eating and drinking. "Captain, we robbed a merchant ship. They had a lot of money. What do we do?" one pirate asked. The fat captain took a bite of meat. "Use it to recruit new crew members. We need to expand." Little did they know, this would be their final moment. Fire fist, a flaming fist appeared before them. The pirates and ship were destroyed by the fire. Locke smiled. In this world, destroying a pirate ship is normal. It's nice to destroy a pirate ship in the morning. Chapter 33 Arrival at 9 Snake Island, Ancient Loliosa. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Robin, you're awake," Locke said. Seeing Robin emerge from the cabin, she seemed in good spirits, refreshed by Locke's comforting words the night before. She looked happy and content. "Yep," Robin replied, joining Locke to admire the morning sea. The sea breeze whipped through their hair as they closed their eyes, savoring the moment. ****. The air is amazing today," Locke exclaimed before turning to grab breakfast. He spotted Boa Hancock standing nearby, watching him. When their eyes met, a blush crept across her face. Last night was a blur, but she remembered enough to know what she'd done with Locke. The thought made her cheeks flush like ripe apples. Locke understood her embarrassment. To ease the tension, he made small talk before heading into the cabin for breakfast. Robin munched on something thick and red. A system rewarded ham sausage that tasted like barbecue. She took another bite, then washed it down with a glass of rich, white milk. Locke returned with more ham, bread, and several bottles of milk. Watching Robin eat and drink, Boya Hancock joined in. Wow! I didn't expect this sausage to be so good. And this milk is fantastic too. Boya Hancock took a large gulp, a trickle of white milk escaping the corner of her mouth. Locke chuckled, amused by the scene and the potential for misinterpretation. News of the celestial dragon's death spread like wildfire, shocking the world and sparking speculation about the culprit. Inevitably, Locke's name surfaced, making headlines again, in the holy land of Mary Geos. The 5 elders in suits stared at the newspapers in grim silence. One, his hair gleaming, finally spoke. A symbolic strike. That's all we can do. The Navy is still rebuilding. We can't afford further losses, said another, his beard and hair golden. This is just a warning to the losers. Without us celestial dragons, who knows what would happen. At Naval Headquarters, Fleet Admiral Sengoku, freshly returned from Mary Geos, saw the news about Locke killing the celestial dragons. He rubbed his temples. The 5 elders had ordered a symbolic attack, essentially sending someone on a suicide mission. They don't treat our navy like human beings. Sengoku fumed. He and Vice Admiral Garp sat in the office, looking defeated. Summon Vice Admiral Momosaji and Rear Admiral Tina. Sengoku stood and addressed the Marine outside his door. Tell them to come at once. Yes, sir. The Marine saluted and hurried off. A moment later, Chief of Staff Tsuru walked in. Sengoku, did you call them to attack Locke? Tsuru asked, concerned for Momosaji, whom she considered like a sister. I called them to monitor him, not attack, Sengoku reassured her. I promise I have a plan. A knock sounded, and the door opened to reveal 2 beautiful, long-legged women, one with flowing black hair, the other with vibrant pink. They saluted in unison. Fleet Admiral Sengoku, sir. Sengoku nodded, his gaze serious. I've called you here for a dangerous mission. Momosaji, whose real name was Gion, was a vice admiral and an admiral candidate. Tina, with her pink hair, was a devil fruit user with the power of the barrier fruit. We're ready for anything, sir. They replied. Sengoku leaned forward. Your mission is to monitor Locke. The 2 women exchanged shocked glances. This was a task that even the admirals and the fleet admiral couldn't handle. Sensing their apprehension, Sengoku clarified, I only want you to monitor him, not engage. Maintain a safe distance. If you're in danger, retreat immediately. Admiral, we accept the mission. They declared. Good. You'll set out immediately. As far as I know, Locke is traveling with the Kuja pirates, heading towards Amazon Lily. Go there. Sengoku provided further instructions, and the 2 women departed to prepare. They were well aware of the danger, as they were going up against the devil Locke, who had the blood of countless people on his hands. Soon, a warship left Naval Headquarters, bound for Amazon Lily. The deaths of the celestial dragons were either a shock to the public or dismissed completely. System, daily sign-in, *ding, *, sign-in successful. Reward, a box of tissues. Locke sighed, another useless reward. After another day of sailing, they reached the calm belt. Amazon Lily was located in the calm belt, a windless area known for its massive sea kings. The lack of wind and the dangerous creatures kept most ships away. Roar, a sea king emerged, jaws agape, ready to devour the pirate ship. Instead, it was met with a massive fireball, instantly cooking it before it crashed back into the water. After this brief interlude, they finally arrived at Amazon Lily. Look, the Queen's back. Her Majesty's returned. Let's go greet the Queen. That excitement rippled through Amazon Lily as the Kuja warriors gathered near the docks. They recognized their Queen's ship but were puzzled by the unfamiliar pirate vessel beside it. Whose ship is that? Could it be Her Majesty's trophy? Amazing. The queen captured a pirate ship on a single trip. The warriors chattered. Soon, Locke and the others disembarked. It was Locke's first time on the all-female island, and it was unlike what he'd imagined. The women were tough and surprisingly muscular. The queen's here. Hey, there's a man next to the queen. A man? Is that really a man? Incredible. Who is he? Curious whispers spread through the crowd. Isolated in the calm belt, Amazon Lily was largely unaware of the outside world, so it was no surprise that the warriors didn't recognize Locke. An elderly woman, shorter than most, with white wavy hair, approached, her eyes fixed on Locke. This was Gloriosa, also known as Nyan, the former empress of Amazon Lily. The longer Gloriosa looked, the more alarmed she became. She had seen Locke's face countless times in newspapers. So, the Snake Princess has brought such a dangerous man to Amazon Lily. She's bringing disaster upon us. Gloriosa muttered under her breath. Chapter 34 Magic Potion, Flying Dragon's Hoof. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shiji, you know men aren't allowed on Amazon Lily, right? Gloriosa asked Boya Hancock. Just then, Locke noticed her too. She was unusually short compared to the others, you could easily miss her. Granny Nyan. Granny Nyan, Boya Marigold and Boya Sandersonia called out, greeting the old woman. Of course, I know I'm not supposed to bring men to Amazon Lily. Boya Hancock said, glancing at Gloriosa. You know, so why do it? Aren't you afraid of bringing disaster down on the entire island? Gloriosa asked, a hint of anger in her voice. Even if it does bring disaster, everyone will forgive me. Boya Hancock tilted her head back, almost touching her spine, then pointed a finger downward. Because I'm beautiful. Ah, your majesty. A voice shrieked. The surrounding female warriors' eyes turned to hearts, and they screamed adoringly. You. Gloriosa sputtered, pointing at Boya Hancock. You'll doom Amazon Lily. Don't you remember what happened at Eni's lobby? Gloriosa said, sounding defeated. Whatever he's done, all I know is that he killed a celestial dragon. Boya Hancock said, staring her down. She turned to look at Locke. Gloriosa stared at Locke in shock after hearing Boya Hancock's words. He killed a celestial dragon. She was so worried about Amazon Lily because she feared Locke would destroy it on a whim, like Eni's lobby. After all, she knew Locke's power. She and the Hancock sisters had seen it during that battle via Den Mushi. If Locke wanted to wipe this place off the map, Amazon Lily wouldn't stand a chance. No one on the island could stand up to Locke. Locke heard everything, but he didn't pay much attention. System, initiate special location sign in, *ding. Congratulations. Sign in successful. Reward, Magic Potion. Magic Potion, instantly heals any injury without scars and eliminates all pain. Locke thought, not exactly something I need. Ding, special mission issued, help the Boya Hancock sisters remove the mark on their backs. Reward, unknown. Locke figured the reward wasn't for him but for the sisters. But how do I bring that up? Can't exactly ask them to strip down and show me, While he was pondering this, Boya Hancock approached him. Lord Locke, come with me to Amazon Lily. Locke nodded and followed Boya Hancock and Robin to the city. Everyone followed, and Gloriosa watched Locke intently, making him uncomfortable. This old woman keeps staring at me. It's creeping me out. Locke turned and glared at her, unleashing a burst of invisible pressure. Gloriosa broke out in a cold sweat, shocked. She stopped looking at Locke. She'd been warned once. Soon, Locke and the others reached Amazon Lily. He looked around the city, which reminded him of his previous life. It was filled with women, and every time they passed, the women shrieked. It's the Queen. Ah, the Queen is so beautiful, that the screams and praises echoed around Locke. Boya Hancock led Locke and Robin to her palace. A table laden with food was presented, and they watched a dance performance. Night fell. Lord Locke, could you do me a favor? Boya Hancock asked Locke. Locke was surprised but replied, tell me what it is. Please, come with me. Boa Hancock simply asked Locke to follow. Everyone followed Boa Hancock to what appeared to be her bedroom. Loliosa was there too. Boa Hancock turned around and slowly took off her clothes, revealing the mark of the celestial dragon on her back. Sister. Boa Sandersonia and Boa Marigold cried out, shocked that their sister would reveal this secret. Loliosa stared at Boa Hancock, surprised she would expose this shameful secret in front of outsiders. Robin saw the mark on Boa Hancock's back, momentarily taken aback before regaining her composure. Locke knew the mark was nothing to laugh at but a deeply shameful thing for her. He didn't expect that Boa Hancock, whom he'd only met yesterday, would reveal this secret. This is the mark the celestial dragons branded on my back. Go ahead, laugh if you want. Though Boa Hancock's back was turned, her clenched teeth and misty eyes showed her shame. No mocking voice came. Instead, Boa Hancock felt a hand on her back. She flinched. I know a way to remove this mark without leaving any scars. Locke said, his hand gently caressing her back. Though he sounded serious, it looked like he was taking advantage. Are you telling the truth? Boa Hancock asked, hope creeping into her voice. Of course, but it'll be painful. Locke said. I can endure any pain, as long as this mark is gone. Boa Hancock said firmly. Okay, let's stop wasting time and get to it. Locke said, eager to complete the mission. He conjured a flame in his hand, shaping it into a small, fiery rod. Then, he scraped it down Boa Hancock's back. Puff, starred at a burning sound echoed through the room. Aya! A cry of pain filled the palace. Blood welled up on Boa Hancock's back, and she gasped, sweat beading on her forehead. The strike had clearly caused immense pain. Does it hurt? Should I stop? Locke asked, seeing her discomfort. No, don't stop. Keep going. Boa Hancock gritted out. Locke continued. Blood flowed down her back, and sweat trickled onto the floor. Boa Hancock fought to stay silent, enduring the pain. Sweat poured from her brow, mixing with the blood. She was doing everything she could to erase the dragon's hoof. Half an hour passed. Boa Hancock lay on the ground, exhausted and in pain. Her body was drenched in sweat, and her back was coated in blood. She lay there, weak and panting. Boa Hancock's face was pale, and her breathing was shallow. The past half hour had been agonizing. Phew! The mark is gone. Locke wiped the sweat from his forehead, surprised he'd finished so quickly. Thank you. Boa Hancock whispered. Almost there, just one more step. Locke said, then pretended to rummage in his pocket. He took out the magic potion from the system space, a green bottle. Locke opened the bottle and dripped a few drops on Boa Hancock's back. The drops of green liquid landed on her back, and something magical happened. The wound began to heal rapidly. In a blink, it was gone, leaving no scar. Lying on the ground, Boa Hancock went from weak to energetic. She was stunned by the sudden change and quickly turned to Locke, but her clothes were still on the floor. Locke suddenly had a clear view of her naked body. It was a breathtaking sight. Chapter 35 Leaving 9 Snake Island, Navy Peach Rabbit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lord Locke, could you help my sisters out too, get rid of those marks on their backs? Boa Hancock asked, all excited. Locke, still checking her out, said, maybe put some clothes on first. Boya Hancock finally realized she was naked, and her face flushed. She turned around, quickly got dressed, but her face stayed red. Everyone else was blown away by Locke's magic potion. That green stuff actually does all that? Loliosa whispered. After that, Locke helped Boa and Sandersonia get rid of their marks too. He was beat, sweating like crazy. He wiped his forehead and looked at the three Boa Hancock sisters, who were beaming now that their marks were gone. Ding, star. Suddenly, a digital chime went off in his head. Mission complete. Reward, Divine Reader's hair. What the? Seriously? The hair of those ridiculously handsome readers. Those gorgeous, adorable, unstoppable readers are more powerful than God. They control my fate. every move I make is under their watch. Thinking about it, he could practically feel a million eyes on him. Locke broke out in a cold sweat. He'd thought the reward would be something cool, not the hair of these all-powerful beings. All he could do was hope these kind readers would cut him some slack. Locke looked pretty grim. Robin, noticing his face, asked, "Locke, are you okay? Are you tired?" That she hadn't taken her eyes off Locke the whole time he was helping Boya, Hancock and the others. "I'm fine," Locke said, trying to brush it off. "You've been working hard all day, Locke. Let me show you to your room so you can get some rest." Boya Hancock offered. Locke nodded, and Boya Hancock led the way. They each found a room and turned in for the night. Robin went to her room, but instead of going to sleep, she stood by the window. The night sky was beautiful, lit up with stars shining like fireflies. She started thinking about everything that had happened since she'd started traveling with Locke. In every fight, she'd wanted to jump in and help, but she was too weak, stuck hiding behind him and relying on his protection. She hated feeling so helpless, especially towards Locke. She wanted to take some of the weight off him, but she just couldn't keep up. She walked out of her room, needing some air, but the thoughts just kept swirling. Robin gazed at Locke's door. When someone is that attached to you, it means you're the person they rely on most. "Good night," Robin whispered, smiling softly at the door. "Ugh, I feel so weird. What's wrong with me? Could I have been poisoned?" Boya Hancock tossed and turned in bed, her face burning. Every moment she'd spent with Locke replayed in her mind. She put a hand to her forehead, staring at the ceiling, thinking about what Locke had said to her. "A celestial dragon, he killed a celestial dragon," that she murmured. Boya Hancock touched her back, and tears welled up in her eyes. Tears of joy and relief, after decades of shame, were wiped away by Locke. She rolled over and whispered, "Thank you, for clearing the shame from all three of us." Then, she closed her eyes and drifted off to sleep, finally at peace. Locke was wide awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling restless. He got up, went to the window, and pulled out a cigarette from his inventory. He lit it. He took a deep drag and blew out a puff of white smoke. After finishing the cigarette, he went back to bed and closed his eyes. He didn't say what was bugging him, but one question kept nagging at him: should Robin keep traveling with him, or should she stay here? He kept circling back to the problem, but he couldn't find an answer. It was a strange night, and everyone had something on their mind. Under the moonlight, Nine Snakes Island was quiet. Except for a few lights, everyone was asleep in their beds. The next day, morning sunlight streamed into the house, and the whole island sprang back to life. System, daily sign-in, *, ding, star. Sign-in complete. Reward, 2 boxes of tissues. Are you kidding me? Locke growled. He went out of his room and bumped into Robin and Boya Hancock, who were coming out of their rooms too. "Robin, morning, Locke." "Morning, Robin." Locke replied. "Lord Locke, did you sleep well last night?" Boya Hancock asked, blushing. "Great, the bed was really comfortable," Locke said. Seeing her blush, the three of them walked around Nine Snakes Island. As they were walking, Locke turned to Boya Hancock. "I'm heading out," he said. When she heard Locke was leaving, she looked at him, wanting to say something, but she knew better than to beg him to stay. "Before I go, I need to ask you something," Locke said, seeing her disappointment. "Lord Locke, anything. I'll do whatever I can to help." Boya Hancock said happily, she'd do anything for Locke. "I want Robin to stay here, and I want you to teach her how to use Haki. Help her get good at armament Haki and observation Haki," Locke said. "Robin, what do you think? Stay here, or come with me?" Locke asked. "I think I should stay here. I'm too weak to be much help to you right now. This is a great chance to train," Robin said, looking at Locke, but she didn't want to be left behind. She knew she needed to get stronger if she wanted to keep traveling with him. A short goodbye, for a better reunion. With that settled, Locke left Nine Snakes Island. Robin and Boya Hancock watched his pirate ship sail away. "Let's go train on another island," Boya Hancock said to Robin. "Okay." They headed off to another island, where Robin would spend her time mastering Haki. "He's really gone, huh? That man, he's something else," Loliosa said, watching the sea, leaving the calm belt. Locke was back out on the open water. Before his ship had gotten far, a marine warship appeared right in front of them. Vice Admiral Tokakake, 9 Snakes Island is ahead. Should we proceed? Tina asked Tokakake, standing at the head of the warship. Tokakake looked out at the sea. No wind. She knew the mission was to keep tabs on Locke, so it was better to keep their distance. We'll stop here, Tokakake said. Just then, a pirate ship appeared. It was flying the Black Dragon and Skull pirate flag. Everyone, on alert. Maintain a safe distance from that ship, Tokakake barked. She knew it was Locke's ship, she just hadn't expected to see it so soon. The Marines scrambled to action, but the pirate ship seemed to be headed straight for them. Chapter 36 Fighting Against Peach Rabbit, Suppression in Terms of Strength. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fire bombed out a shot, like a fiery bullet, screamed towards the Navy ship. Peach Rabbit's face tightened, but she snapped into action. She yanked the Jinpillo, her sword, from her waist. Muda gripped the Jinbilluo, coating the blade with armament Haki, and slashed at the incoming flaming projectile. Boom. The flaming bullet burst apart, but Peach Rabbit remained vigilant, blade poised. Standing before her was the man with the 20 billion bounty, the so-called devil himself. She couldn't afford to let her guard down. Locke's sudden attack had her convinced he was targeting them. The warship's crew leveled their weapons at Locke, and Tina stood beside Peach Rabbit, eyes narrowed with caution. Locke's pirate ship drew closer. He hadn't expected to run into these two here. Locke's gaze was steady. Peach Rabbit and the others felt beads of sweat trickle down their faces, overwhelmed by the sheer pressure radiating from him. Gulp, a naval soldier swallowed hard. The oppressive aura was too much. One by one, the sailors crumpled to the deck. Peach Rabbit and Tina struggled, gritting their teeth to stay conscious. As the other soldiers fell, the pressure lessened. You disgusting pirate! Why did you attack us? Tina demanded, fury in her voice. Locke almost laughed. You just called me a disgusting pirate. Why wouldn't I attack you? Tina sputtered, momentarily speechless. Peach Rabbit stepped forward. He's the monster who destroyed Judiciary Island. Countless innocent people died because of him. Innocent? Where was your concern for the innocent when the Navy issued the buster call to destroy O'Hara? Weren't there innocent people there too? Children, defenseless women, what had they done wrong? Were they pirates? They were historians, scholars who did nothing but study the past. And what about the celestial dragons? You never talk about their garbage. Those pampered fools commit atrocities far worse than anything we pirates do, and you still protect them. You call me a devil. Aren't the Navy's actions just as demonic? Locke spat out each word like venom. His accusations hung in the air, undeniable truths that none could refute. Locke fell silent, wanting to instill fear in the two women who dared call him a devil. He would show them what a devil truly was. Moonwalk. Shave. Instantly, Locke was on the warship, armament Haki hardening his right fist, aimed squarely at Peach Rabbit. His sudden appearance startled them both, and they watched in horror as Locke's fist hurtled towards Peach Rabbit. She braced herself, sword meeting Locke's fist head-on. Clang. Sparks flew as metal met hardened flesh. The stalemate was brief. The force of Locke's punch sent Peach Rabbit flying. Boom. She crashed into the warship's structure, sending debris scattering. Cough, cough. Peach Rabbit choked, coughing violently. Dust swirled around her. Her sword hand trembled. Ignoring the pain, she pushed herself up, brushed off the dust, and thought, he's too strong. As Peach Rabbit was thrown back, Tina's arm sprouted cage-like iron bars, encircling Locke. Feather fence. Locke glanced at the approaching iron, then flicked his wrist, sending a ball of flame spiraling towards it. Starfire. Sizzle, hiss, the flames melted the iron bars. Tina's eyes widened as her attack was neutralized. She coated her right hand in armament Haki. Shave. She vanished, reappearing in front of Locke, her fist slamming into his face. Locke mirrored her action, fists covered in armament Haki colliding. Boom. A figure was sent flying. Tina crashed into the railing. Ouch. that hurt. Tina clutched her throbbing right hand. They both knew they were outmatched, but as Marines, they couldn't run. Even if they wanted to, Locke could easily overtake them. All that was left was to confront the vast difference in power. They attacked again, but Locke held back, toying with them like a cat with a mouse. Each punch sent one of them reeling, wounded but not fatally. Every movement was agony. They knew he was playing with them, and with the power imbalance, they were helpless to stop it. That bastard! Peach Rabbit hissed through gritted teeth. Sweat plastered her hair to her forehead, her clothes were covered in grime, and pain throbbed in every muscle, but she held on, refusing to fall. Tina's so mad right now. Tina wasn't faring much better, her eyes half closed, as if she were about to collapse. Against Locke's raw strength and armament Haki, they were barely holding their own. Locke stared at them, his face devoid of emotion. Since I'm the devil, then brace yourselves for a devil's wrath. Shave! Locke stood before Peach Rabbit, his fist slamming into her stomach, her eyes widened in agony as she vomited, face ashen, cold sweat pouring down her face. The blow had clearly done serious damage. Locke moved to Tina, who stumbled back, fear flickering in her eyes. Sweat dripped from her brow as she watched him approach. Locke casually delivered a punch, striking her in the stomach. Like Peach Rabbit, she crumpled to the ground, clutching her abdomen, Locke's power leaving them both in despair. They were lucky Locke wasn't the kind of monster they thought he was, otherwise, their suffering would be far worse. Helplessness is weakness. Strength is truth. In this world, only strength gives you the right to stand and speak. It's better to be strong and righteous than to stand around without strength. With that, Locke left. As his pirate ship sailed into the distance, Peach Rabbit and Tina watched with smoldering resentment, but Locke's words echoed in their minds. Soon, the unconscious sailors stirred. They rushed to Peach Rabbit and Tina, who were both on the ground. The injuries were not life-threatening. A few days of rest should be sufficient. Supported by the crew, Peach Rabbit and Tina limped to their quarters. Peach Rabbit reported the incident to Fleet Admiral Sengoku. She explained that they fought Locke and were defeated by him. The news that Locke hadn't killed them relieved Sengoku. Hearing that Locke engaged them worried him. He was relieved to learn Peach Rabbit was alive. Sigh. Sengoku sighed. Lately, his hair had turned gray, thanks to these challenges. Looking out the window, he muttered. Locke. Chapter 37 Kid, I was blackmailed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chambord Islands, also called the Soap Bubble Islands, sit right in front of the Red Line in the Grand Line. They're basically giant, overgrown trees, with roots everywhere and bubbles constantly popping up from the ground. A pirate ship docked at Island Number, a shady spot known for its human auctions. Suddenly, a voice in Locke's head, system initiating sign-in at designated location. Ding. Congratulations. You've successfully signed in and received a healing potion. Healing potion, cures any wound, no matter how severe, without leaving a scar. Locke figured it might come in handy later, even if he didn't need it now. Stepping off the ship, he took in the massive trees. Way down below him, thousands of feet underwater, was Fishman Island. This is the Chambord Islands, Locke muttered. And Rayleigh's here too. After days at sea, he'd finally arrived. Now that he'd snagged his sign-in reward, he was ready to check the place out. This human trafficking spot was a magnet for pirates and criminals. Captured girls, some as young as 17 or 18, were being dragged around, their bodies bruised, clothes torn, and eyes vacant. Shackled at the hands, feet, and necks, they were herded to random spots for auction. The pretty ones fetched maybe 500,000 belly, while the plain ones went for a measly 100,000. The attractive girls were bought as wives or for someone's twisted pleasure, only to be resold or tossed aside when they were used up. The less attractive ones were turned into slaves, hauling heavy loads, or bought by sickos looking to take out their frustrations. Just then, a red-haired punk strutted into the area, rocking a dark red coat, a dagger, a pistol, and goggles. It was Eustace Kid, soon to be known as a supernova. Kid, a magnetic fruit user, could control metal with his powers. He also possessed dormant conqueror's haki. He was here to take out a celestial dragon. Word on the street was one was coming to buy slaves, and Kid wanted to make a name for himself. but after scouring the place, he couldn't find any sign of a celestial dragon. "Hey, look!" someone shouted. "It's Eustace Kid from the South Seas. That guy's got a 500 million belly bounty. Rumor has it he racked up that bounty by slaughtering civilians in the South China Sea. I heard he's crazy strong and has a real mean streak." Kid overheard the chatter, but he didn't give a damn. He was laser-focused on finding and killing a celestial dragon. Anyone who got in his way would be taken out, too. Of course, there were always those willing to risk it all for a shot at fame and fortune. A pack of 50-plus pirates, weapons drawn, approached Kid. A green-haired pirate stepped forward, pointing a huge knife at Kid's face. "You Kid?" he sneered. Kid didn't appreciate the knife in his face. He pulled out his pistol and, without a word, shot the green-haired pirate in the head. Bang! The pirate dropped like a rock, never seeing it coming. Thud. His body hit the ground, kicking up dust. Captain." The remaining pirate stammered. "So, that green-haired guy was your captain, huh?" Kid said, his eyes cold. "Too bad. I didn't like his hair. Now you all can join him." Kid stretched out his hand, and the pirates' weapons, including the dead pirate's knife, flew out of their hands. "What the? What's going on? Why'd my weapon fly away?" "It's Kid. His devil fruit." Panic set in as the weapons zeroed in on them. "Repel," Kid said, flicking his wrist. The weapons shot back at the pirates. Thwack. 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 The weapons pierced through their bodies, spraying blood. Each pirate had a gaping hole in their chest, courtesy of Kid's control over the metal. Their eyes wide with shock and horror, the 49 pirates fell to the ground. Bang! 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 The crowd watched in stunned silence, jaws on the floor. It had all happened so fast. Kid had wiped out 50 pirates in the blink of an eye. His terrifying power sent shivers down their spines. Any pirates who'd been thinking about trying their luck quickly changed their minds. Locke, who had just arrived, had a clear view of the massacre. He didn't know the details, but he saw Kid take out 49 pirates in one move. To him, it was nothing. "Trash," Kid scoffed. He strolled away, and the crowd parted like the Red Sea, desperate to avoid his gaze. Locke moved forward, observing the slaves being sold. He had no intention of buying anyone. They were strangers to him. As he walked, a little girl bumped into him. In that instant, Locke saw her slip a bag into his pocket. "Oh, sorry," the girl said quickly. She kept her head down, but Locke saw a sly smile on her lips. The hulking man stormed over, glaring at the girl and Locke. "Give me back my money, you thief!" he snarled at the girl. Though the girl trembled, her eyes showed no fear. It was as if they'd rehearsed this. She looked up at Locke. "Mister, I put his money in your pocket." Locke instantly understood. It was a setup. Before Locke could speak, the man roared, "So you're in on it too? Hand it over now, or else." He cracked his knuckles, implying what would happen if Locke didn't cough up the cash. Locke smiled, slowly raising his left hand and grabbing the girl by the neck. The sudden move caught both of them off guard. As Locke's grip tightened, the girl's face turned red. She struggled to breathe. Locke pointed his right hand at the man. "Fire bomb." Whoosh. A fiery bullet shot through the man's heart, leaving a gaping, bloody hole. The edges of the wound were charred, and the smell of burnt flesh filled the air. His eyes wide with shock and terror, the man collapsed. Thud. His body hit the ground. "You shouldn't have picked me," Locke said. He coated his right hand in armament Haki and punched the girl in the head. The girl's eyes widened in pure terror as the fist connected. Boom. Blood mist exploded into the air. Her head shattered from the force, splattering Locke's face with blood. He looked like a demon risen from hell. Locke tossed the girl's body aside and walked away. A headless corpse lay discarded, the clothes soaked in blood. Chapter 38, Future Golden Emperor Tezoro, please feel free to leave her to me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The day's events left everyone in shock. These fighters were incredibly strong and attacked without mercy. Learning about Locke's identity rattled them at first, but then they relaxed. Lucky for them, nobody messed with Locke, or they'd be headless corpses on the ground. "No, please, don't take her," a desperate voice cried out. "I'm begging you, I'll find a way to get more money to buy her freedom," a man with gray-green hair pleaded from the ground. His clothes were torn, and his body was covered in bruises. Blood trickled from the corner of his mouth as he looked ahead. A woman with a chain around her neck looked at him sadly. "Tezoro, don't worry about me. Thank you for everything these past few days." The woman's hands were also chained. Behind her stood a repulsive man wearing a glass mask. When he yanked the chain, it pulled her back sharply. The woman winced in pain. From behind, Rogers sneered, "Behave yourself, slave." This St. Rogers, a celestial dragon, had seen the woman and decided to take her. Unexpectedly, a man named Tezoro intervened. "Please, don't take her," Tezoro begged. Lying on the ground, he couldn't bear to see Stella taken away. He knew that the celestial dragons would only bring her death and torture. "This is annoying, beat this lowlife into the ground," Rogers Saint ordered. Several CP0 agents guarding him immediately rushed forward and began beating Tezoro brutally. Cough. Tezoro coughed up blood. His vision blurred, and Stella's figure receded into the distance. He imagined Stella smiling at him. The smile was agonizing. He was unwilling, utterly unwilling, to let his beloved be taken like this. As a man, he felt worthless. A longing for money and power surged through him. He felt a burning hatred for the rich and so-called nobles. Ding. An electronic sound echoed in his mind. Special mission released. Help Tezoro kill the celestial dragons and rescue Stella. Mission reward, unknown. Locke, nearby, heard the system's prompt and accepted the mission. As Tezoro closed his eyes in despair, a figure appeared before him. "Without strength, all you can do is beg. You can't protect anyone you care about," Locke said, looking down at him. Whoosh. Locke moved with incredible speed, appearing before Rogers Saint in a flash. Before the celestial dragon could react, a black, metal-like fist smashed into his glass helmet. Boom. Rogers flew backward, his helmet shattering into pieces. Everyone stared at Locke in disbelief as he attacked the celestial dragon. Whoosh. 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 3 figures appeared beside Locke. They were CP0 agents guarding Rogers. Seeing their charge beaten, they immediately surrounded Locke. Fire bomb. Locke rapidly pointed at the 3 agents, and 3 high-temperature fire bullets instantly pierced their hearts. The 3 collapsed before they could react, blood spurting from their chests, white smoke rising, and the stench of burnt flesh filling the air. Locke walked towards the barely conscious Rogers. As Rogers struggled to stand, another punch landed. The punch slammed into his temple, and Rogers' eyes rolled back in his head. Boom. He crashed to the ground again. Locke raised his right foot, coated in armament Haki, and stomped down on Rogers' head. Boom. The force created a shockwave, scattering dust, blood, and white smoke into the air. The blast washed over the crowd, leaving them feeling as if their hearts had been struck. After dealing with the problem, Locke heard the electronic notification in his mind. Ding. Congratulations, host, for completing the mission. Reward, OL professional suit. Locke was speechless. Why would I want this? He muttered. Am I supposed to wear it? Nah, maybe I'll give it to Robin or the Empress. Locke turned to find everyone staring at him, mouths agape. Ignoring them, Locke approached Stella and reached for the chain around her neck. Stella flinched, closing her eyes in fear, bracing for a blow to the head. Click. The chain broke. Stella opened her eyes and touched her neck. The heavy chain was gone. Locke then freed her hands, letting the chains fall to the ground. He looked at her. Come with me. Stella hesitantly followed. When she saw Locke heading towards Tezoro, her heart jumped. She feared Locke would harm him. Seeing Locke and Stella approach, Tezoro struggled to his feet, ignoring his pain. I'm taking this woman with me, Locke stated bluntly. Tezoro and Stella exchanged panicked glances, wanting to flee, but Locke wouldn't let them escape. He grabbed Stella's shoulders, holding her firmly beside him. Even if she stays with you, do you think you can escape? You have no power and no money. You'll just get caught again. Locke told Tezoro. Tezoro fell silent. The thought of the nobles and the wealthy made him realize they had nowhere to run without strength or money. He looked up at Locke. "Can you help me?" he asked, pleading. "Didn't I just help you? I killed the celestial dragon and his men. Why should I help you again?" Locke retorted. "If you help me, I promise you that when I get enough money and power, it will all be yours." Tezoro looked at Locke, his voice firm. "I don't trust you." "The only way I can trust you is if she stays with me," Locke said, glancing at Stella. "Impossible," Tezoro refused. "Keeping her with me is the safest thing for her. Should she wander around with you and suffer? You know my strength. If I wanted to keep her by force, no one could stop me," Locke pointed out. Tezoro glanced at Stella, a mixture of reluctance and understanding in his eyes. Locke was right. Could he let Stella endure more hardship? He couldn't bear to see what had happened earlier happen again. "Okay, I promise. But I want you to protect Stella. If anything happens to her, I'll never forgive you," Tezoro vowed. "Don't worry. I will protect her for you. I will love her very much. You can ask around about me. You'll feel much better once you know my reputation," Locke said. "What's your name?" Tezoro realized he didn't even know Locke's name. "Locke," Locke replied. Tezoro processed the name, then repeated his request for Locke to protect and take care of Stella. Locke agreed. "Don't worry. Keeping her with me is the safest place for her. I'll protect her and take good care of her. You just focus on making money and gaining power." Tezoro, reassured by Locke's promise, nodded and walked away, but something about Locke's words felt off. He had the distinct impression that something was above his head. He reached up and touched his gray-green hair. He still felt like there was something there. Chapter 39 Stella, Happy Hotel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Let's go," Locke said to Stella, who was still staring in the direction Tezoro had gone. Stella didn't respond, just silently followed Locke, with no idea where he was taking her. News of the world noble's murder spread like wildfire among the crowd. The revelation of Locke's identity added another layer of shock. People whispered in disbelief. "So, that's the legendary Locke. He's actually here." Locke's name was on everyone's lips. Tezoro, too, was stunned when he heard. A 20 billion belly pirate. "I can't believe it. Knowing Stella's with him, that makes me feel a little better," Tezoro murmured, before turning his back and disappearing into the crowd, determined to find his chance. The golden fruit. Meanwhile, Kid was still hunting for world nobles when he heard the news. "That bastard dared to kill a celestial dragon right under my nose. He better hope I don't find him, or else," Kid roared. Nearby, a group was talking. "Did you hear? Some pirate named Locke off the celestial dragon. Yeah, this Locke guy's got a 20 billion bounty. I can't believe he came all the way here just to kill a celestial dragon." Kid, overhearing their conversation, was taken aback. "So, he came," he muttered. "Just to kill a celestial dragon." He turned and left, heading away from the Chambord Islands altogether. Not because he feared Locke, but because he no longer wanted to stay. Island 1 is buzzing. A world noble killed, a notorious pirate running circles around the Marines. Everyone was speculating about Locke's motives. Killing a celestial dragon couldn't be the whole story. Some guessed he was headed to Fishman Island. Locke, oblivious to the rumors, led Stella to a small, worn-looking clothing store. Without hesitating, he ushered her inside. The clerk, catching sight of Locke, nearly fainted. He'd heard about the world noble's killer, the 20 billion belly pirate. He'd even seen Locke's wanted poster and news reports. Now, that man was standing right in front of him. Sweat beading on his forehead, he cautiously approached. "Lord Locke. What can I do for you?" he stammered. Locke pointed to Stella, who was standing behind him. "I need some clothes for her." "Pack them up." Seeing Stella's tattered clothes and recognizing she was a woman, the clerk scrambled to gather some women's garments. Stella, following behind, Wondered why Locke was buying her clothes. The clerk returned with a selection of women's wear. Here you go, sir. Wrap them up. Soon, the clothes were bundled, and the clerk nervously held the package out to Locke. Here, take it, Locke said to Stella. I'll come back and pay you later, Locke told the clerk. Oh, no, no need. The clerk sputtered, shaking his head frantically. He wouldn't dare ask that man for money. In his eyes, Locke was a fearsome pirate, and demanding payment might cost him his life. With that done, Locke led Stella to a hotel. A sign proclaimed it Happy Hotel. It wasn't fancy, but it was somewhere to stay. Locke rented a room, and they went inside. It was sparsely furnished with just a bed, a box of tissues, and a few other necessities. You should shower first, Locke said to Stella. Wash off all the blood and dirt. Stella didn't argue. She was eager to clean herself up. Grabbing a dress, pants, and underwear, she headed for the bathroom. As Locke listened to the sound of the shower, he retrieved a green potion from his inventory. Why does it always have to be green? He muttered, eyeing the bottle. Half an hour later, the bathroom door opened, and a long-legged blonde emerged. Her hair was wet, and droplets trailed down her face. The grime that had obscured her features was gone, revealing a youthful beauty. Stella, uncomfortable under Locke's gaze, lowered her eyes. Take off your clothes, Locke said. Stella's head shot up, her expression a mix of shame and anger. Now she understood. Locke had bought her clothes and brought her to the hotel so he could take advantage of her. She'd been a fool to trust him. Stella remained frozen, simply glaring at Locke. Seeing her hesitation, Locke stepped forward and reached out. *rip. The sound of tearing cloth echoed in the room. Except for her underwear, Locke ripped apart her clothes. Ah! Stella screamed, instinctively covering herself, her face flushed with humiliation and fear. Obey me or else. What kind of reaction is that? Turn around, Locke said, overwhelmed. Stella spun around. Tears welled in her eyes, and she bit her lip, feeling utterly violated. I'm sorry, Tezoro, she whispered. Locke approached, the green potion in hand. He opened the bottle and poured it over the whip scars on Stella's back. As the green liquid touched her skin, the festering wounds began to heal. Stella flinched at the cold sensation, then realized the pain was gone. Locke continued to apply the potion. Drop by drop, the wounds vanished under the green liquid, until Stella's back was smooth and unmarked. She turned to look, seeing Locke holding the potion bottle. She realized she'd misunderstood him. Standing up, she said, "Thank you," her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "You have some wounds on your front, too," Locke said. "Let me help." He reached out, and the green potion dripped again. Seeing the man wearing so little and the potion once again, her face turned completely red. With his work complete, night had fallen. Stella changed into the clothes Locke had bought. Fortunately, he'd bought a lot. Seeing the single bed, Locke stretched out on it. "You'll have to sleep on the floor tonight," he said. "It'll have to do." Stella nodded. "Okay." She showed no resentment. Escaping the celestial dragons and avoiding a life of slavery was more than she could have hoped for. Sleeping on the floor was a small price to pay. They settled into the simple room, Locke on the bed, Stella on the floor. Moonlight streamed through the window, bathing the room in a soft glow. It was the most peaceful night Stella had known in a long time. "Why does my head feel so heavy?" Tezoro, adrift on the sea, touched his gray-green hair. The thought of Stella being with Locke filled him with renewed resolve. Locke will make sure she is safe. Despite the waves tossing him about, he couldn't stop thinking about Stella sleeping in Locke's room. Chapter 40 Xia Cheese Ripoff Bar, Pluto Rayleigh. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The early morning sun streamed into the room, landing right on Stella's face. Ugh, she must have slept like a log last night, maybe even cried out in her sleep. Rubbing her eyes, she got up from the floor. Locke was suddenly there, standing in front of her, giving her a once-over. "Let's bounce," he told Stella. Stella grabbed the shopping bag with her new clothes from yesterday, and followed Locke out. As they walked, Locke thought to himself, "Time for my daily login." Ding. "Congrats, you've signed in. Reward, taro bubble tea." Sweet. Who knew they had that? Taro's my jam. Gonna enjoy this. Locke thought, pleased with himself. As they left Island 13, the pirates and human traffickers there started acting up again. They'd been keeping a low profile with Locke around. After all, he was that legendary 20 billion belly pirate, the fifth emperor. With him gone, things were back to normal. Meanwhile, at Marine headquarters, bang, bang, bang. Fleet Admiral Sengoku slammed his desk 3 times, his eyes blazing at the newspaper in his hand. The headline screamed that Locke had offed another celestial dragon, and a bunch of CP0 agents to boot. Why does this guy keep killing those celestial dragons? Why'd he even go to the Sabaody archipelago in the first place, just to do that? Sengoku couldn't wrap his head around Locke's motives, so he gave up trying. He rubbed his temples, then grabbed the phone and called Vice Admiral Momosaji. Peach Rabbit, ring, ring, the phone buzzed. Momosaji and Tsuru, Crane, were almost back to 100% after a few days' rest. The injuries weren't that bad, after all. Momosaji picked up the Den Den Mushi. Sengoku's voice blasted through the speaker. Momosaji, get to the Sabaody archipelago ASAP and fire a few shots at Locke. Have the local marine base cooperate with you. Make it look good. Sengoku ordered sternly. Momosaji already knew about the Celestial Dragon incident. Yes, Fleet Admiral. She replied into the phone. She hung up and told the nearest Marines, head to the Sabaody archipelago, now. That the marine warship set course to Shiji. Tina stood on the deck, still haunted by the memory of Locke's overwhelming power. Tina's ticked off. The marine bellowed at the sea. Inside the cabin, Momosaji stared at the newspaper. It had Locke's picture, plus one of him taking out the celestial dragon. The article just stated the bare facts. Momosaji sighed, and put the paper down. Ugh, back on Island 13. A hotel called Shaki's Ripoff Bar didn't have many customers. A smoking woman sat behind the front desk. She had short black hair and wore a top with a spiderweb pattern. She was engrossed in a newspaper. Didn't expect that guy to show up in Sabaody, she muttered. And this whole celestial dragon thing? The Navy's just playing along. They took a serious beating during that fight. Shaki took a drag from her cigarette. On Island 60, there was a marine base, with a few world government employees hanging around. One marine listened to his Den Den Mushi. This is Vice Admiral Momosaji, and I'm acting under orders from Fleet Admiral Sengoku. You are to cooperate with me in attacking Locke. Momosaji's voice came through the phone. Yes, Vice Admiral Momosaji, ma'am. The Marine Colonel replied respectfully. Soon, 1,000 Marines were assembled, standing by and waiting for Momosaji's arrival. 2 figures approached Island 13, Locke and Stella. Locke's plan was to drop Stella off with Shaki, hoping she'd look after her. Stella was just dead weight tagging along with him. The two walked along, but Locke had no clue where Shaki's bar was. He tried asking for directions, but people just ran away in terror when they saw him. Left with no choice, Locke grabbed a random guy and snarled, "Where's Shaki's ripoff bar?" The guy was scared stiff, breaking out in a cold sweat and shaking like a leaf. He looked at Locke with wide, terrified eyes. I don't know. Then you're useless. Locke's left hand burst into flames, and he stabbed the man through the chest. A fist-sized hole appeared in his chest, blood gushing out, white-hot smoke billowing. The stench of blood and burning filled the air, and the man collapsed, eyes wide with horror. Thud. Dust swirled, and Stella stared at Locke, speechless. Why did he have to kill the poor guy just for asking directions? Locke snapped at her, "Stop gawking." Startled, Stella stepped around the corpse on the ground and followed him. Next, Locke grabbed anyone he could find and demanded to know where Shaki's ripoff bar was, but the answer was always the same, "I don't know." And all of them got the same treatment. Then, a little boy walked up to them. Locke perked up and headed over. "Hey, kid, you know where Shaki's ripoff bar is?" Locke asked with a smile. He was all smiles, a completely different person from the killer a minute ago. "Yeah, I know," the little boy said. He saw that Locke spoke calmly and he told him. "Where?" Locke asked eagerly. "Over there. Go straight, then turn right. You can't miss it." The little boy pointed. Locke got the directions and ruffled the boy's hair. Then, he and Stella headed the way the boy had pointed. Soon, they spotted a hotel. They walked inside, opened the door, and heard a voice. "Hey, need anything?" Shaki said, still holding a cigarette in her mouth, but when she saw Locke, her eyes widened. Well, look who it is. Didn't expect a big shot like you to show up here, Shaki said to Locke. She couldn't hide the shock and nervousness in her eyes. Locke's sudden appearance caught her completely off guard. "Bring me a drink." Locke found a spot and sat down. "Okay, one sec." Soon, a huge wine glass appeared in front of Locke. "You're older than me, so I'm gonna call you Aunt Shaki," Locke said, taking a sip. Shaki looked surprised. "Didn't think you knew my name. Call me whatever you like. What brings you here?" Shaki asked, eyeing Locke. "I do need your help with something," Locke said. "Never thought I'd be able to help you." "Spill it, what's up?" Shaki asked, surprised. "I want this woman to be a waitress here and have you look after her for a while." Locke gestured toward Stella. Shaki followed his gaze and looked at Stella. "No prob." She replied. Locke, hearing that, asked, "Is Rayleigh around?" Shaki narrowed her eyes at Locke. "You sure know a lot." "Rayleigh's out gambling," Shaki said unhappily. "That's okay, I'll wait for him here." Just then, a booming voice came from outside. "Huh, Shaki, I'm back. Lost all my money again." Rayleigh walked in, pushing the door open. He saw Locke, and his smile faded. Their eyes met, and the air thickened, an invisible pressure building. Besides Locke and Rayleigh, Shaki and Stella felt their hearts pounding. The pressure was unbearable, the whole bar was heavy, shrouded in that feeling.